Don't let the apron fool you. It's a prop. I've never worn it to cook. I eat well, it's just that I don't cook. A typical dinner for me is to bake a piece of fish in the oven and steam some vegetables in my steamer. And that's what I did the other night. It doesn't take any work. I baked a piece of fish in the oven, steamed vegetables in the steamer. 20 minutes later, I went in to dish up my dinner, but the vegetables were still cold. I hadn't plugged in the steamer. So I went ahead and ate the fish since it was done, plugged in the steamer, set it for 20 minutes. 20 minutes later, I went back to the kitchen and the vegetables were still cold. But the waffle iron that was sitting right next to the steamer was steaming hot. So I had plugged in the waffle iron instead of the steamer. So I did it correctly. 20 minutes later, I had my vegetables that night for dessert. When I told this story to my good friend Rhonda, she said, "Why didn't you just put the vegetables in the waffle iron?" With friends like that, it's no wonder I can't cook. So then there's the time that I tried to make cookies from a mix. I bought the simplest mix I could find. It had pictures on the back. It had a stick of butter, a third of a cup of oil, and 1 egg. I can do that. So I mixed all the ingredients together, set out 12 beautiful little cookies on a cookie sheet, baked them in the oven, and they came out one thin, large cookie. I looked back at the directions and it said 1 stick of butter or a third of a cup of oil and an egg. I missed the or part. I thought it was and. Then there was the time that I invited some friends over for dinner. I decided to make chili because you can't screw up chili. So I bought the best grade of ground beef that I could, carefully browned it in the pan, carefully sautéed the green pepper and onions, added the tomatoes and beans, added the seasoning, tasted it, it was perfect. So then I was just to simmer it for 30 minutes on the stove. Well, I was supposed to turn the heat down, but I hadn't done that. So I went into the living room and started cleaning for my company, and then I smelled something burning. So I rushed back into the kitchen, and the bottom layer of the chili was all black. So I was very concerned about my really good pan, so I started scraping the black flecks off the bottom of the pan. And I had enough black flecks, and then I started worrying about the chili. And so I took a spoon and started spooning out the black flecks into the sink. Well, by the time I took out all the black flecks, there wasn't much chili left, so we had pizza that night. My friends all know that I can't cook, so when they have a carry-in, they ask me to bring the wine, which I do gladly. I buy the best quality wine I can. They don't have to eat anything I've made, and I don't have to cook.